Hello and welcome to Gardening with Ben, the award-winning gardening podcast as voted for by the Grow Your Own magazine and by my followers and by my listeners. I hope that you have all clicked that subscribe button. If you're new to the podcast channel, please do click the subscribe button and then you get notified of all the new podcasts that get launched. And if you're not following me on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube and TikTok, make sure you look for Gardening with Ben and follow me on all my social medias. So sit back, relax, grab a brew and let's enjoy today's gardening podcast with Ben. Hello and welcome back to Gardening with Ben for a brand new episode of the week. Well, it's been a couple of days since my last podcast, but we have been extremely busy. Not just going out drinking and getting absolutely drunk and coming in at 3:30 in the morning, but we have been busy on the allotment still for the last 2 days. I obviously wasn't there as early this morning, but I managed to get there this afternoon for 4 hours, so I still got plenty of time down there. But what have we been up to for the last few days, you may ask? Well, the last couple of days we've been getting all our pigeon-proof fencing up. As I mentioned the other day, what I usually do is I'll build a massive cage around my full allotment, and round the edges is chicken wire, and then on top I have netting over the top. This stops the pigeons from getting in, but it lets the smaller birds get in through the side so that they can still get the worms, get the insects, get the bugs, and obviously all the bees and the butterflies can still get in and help with pollination if needed. So we've been getting all that done and that's now complete, which means I can actually start planting outside now, because obviously everything will be protected from pigeons eating it. And if you know anything about gardening, pigeons eat literally everything. They will eat all your peas, they'll eat all your runner beans, they'll eat all your brassicas. They devour the lot. You can put something out there, forget to net it one day, come back the next day and the full lot will be gone. And trust me, I've done that many a times, and that's one thing I always warn people when they're new to gardening and taking on an allotment. The pigeons are the main problem, and you can spend a fortune protecting stuff, and sometimes it's obviously cheaper going and getting your own vegetables and fruit, but it obviously doesn't taste as nice and you're not doing things for the environment going shopping. So yeah, we've got all that done. So we've started planting outside, which I've been really excited about because that's my favourite thing, getting everything out into the garden. And there's a downside to that. That means I've got to water more outside, and I absolutely hate doing the watering bit. Sometimes I put it off, but I'm trying this year to do it more regularly because obviously I want better crops. So hopefully it's sunny at day and rains at night, fingers crossed. But once obviously you start watering all your beds, the weeds will start coming as well, and then you'll have to do more weeding. So there's quite a few negatives to planting out. I think the negatives outweigh the positives on this one, but we've got started in getting stuff out. And I don't always suggest that you do follow this tip, because you're not meant to plant out until at least the end of May if you're up north, because the frost can still come. But I'm taking that risk, and if I lose everything, I'll be putting an appeal out for plants everywhere. But yeah, fingers crossed we've done with the frost now. So what have we been planting out? Well, the main things that we've been planting out this week is I've planted out all my runner beans. They're all out. I've planted out all my sweet corn. That's one of my main things what I'm growing this year. It's one of the things that I do absolutely love. So I've planted that out. I've planted out my beetroot. I planted some beetroot out. I've still got loads left to plant of that, but I squeeze that in wherever I can and where there's gaps. I don't often take up a full bed of that. I just plant it where there's gaps and in between plants, and it's a space filler, definitely. So we planted some of that out. We've planted out all my climbing beans, my dwarf beans, my French beans, any beans you want. They're all out now, so we've got that job done. We've planted some lettuce. Yep, I've planted some iceberg lettuce out. And the best thing was that I planted all these yesterday, and yesterday it started raining as well, yesterday night, so they did get a good soaking, which I'm really pleased about, because that is the one thing. You can obviously water them after you've planted them, but sometimes they need that bit of extra rain to help them soak into the soil and get firm and tight in the soil, ready for growing. And the first week or so is the main crux of keeping stuff watered once you've planted it outside, so the rain really does help in that sense. So we've done all that, but over the next few days I want to get in all my spring onions. I want to sow some carrots outside in my beds that I've got. I'm going to try some carrots again this year. I've been trying for 16 years and I still can't grow carrots. Never ask me for any tips on carrots because I don't know any. So yeah, hopefully we're going to be getting the carrots out. I've been potting up as well. When I went to the allotment today, it was absolutely chucking it down, so I thought, I'm still going to the allotment, I'm awake, I'm not hungover, I'm going to get to the allotment and get some fresh air. So I went down and I potted up quite a few watermelons. I've planted some of those, and I've potted all my cucumbers up, so I'm excited to grow the cucumbers. My polytunnel is going to be absolutely jam-packed this year. I've been potting up some tomato plants, and these are like odd varieties that I've never heard of. There's one called Black Russian, I think it is, and one called Orange Princess. So yeah, there's quite a few different varieties that I've not tried before, and these are all the ones that I get with the magazine, with the Grow Your Own magazine and Kitchen Garden magazine. So that's the thing about getting them in the magazines. There's stuff that you probably wouldn't actually purchase. So I planted them up, and one thing about getting them for free is that you'll obviously try growing them, and if you like them, you'll purchase them in future because you know you like them. So we've been planting them up. We've also planted up some okra. I've never tried okra before. I don't know what it even tastes like. I've never tried growing it. So again, that were another free seed that I've got, so I've potted all them up. But tomorrow I'm hoping to start potting up my pepper plants. I need to get my pepper plants potted up. Mine are a bit behind. They took a while to get germinated, but we've got lots of different peppers as well this year. We've got like jalapenos, chilies, peppers, quite a lot of different peppers. So I'm looking forward to trying those ones, and obviously sweet peppers, because they're the ones that I definitely do like. So I'm excited to try a lot this year, and my melons are going to be my main focus for the year ahead. I'm definitely going to put my all into trying to get some fantastic melons. If nothing else grows on my allotment, I'm not bothered, apart from sweet corn, that needs to grow. I'm going to focus on getting some delicious melons. A lot of the time, like I say, I'm not just there to grow my own vegetables. I'm there because I want to enjoy the fresh air and be outside with nature and enjoy it and get some great produce as well sometimes. So yeah, I'm looking forward to trying the melons. I've grown cantaloupe in the past, but I've never actually grown a watermelon. So that is my goal, to get at least one watermelon. If I can get one watermelon, I will be happy. And obviously I will keep my followers updated on that through my Instagram and my Facebook as well. I did share a little video of my melons on Instagram as well today, so if you don't follow me on Instagram, go and have a look, and you'll be able to see it under my reels of my little watermelons that I potted up. I've still got loads of different other varieties of melons to pot up, but these were the biggest ones, so these needed transplanting into their own individual pots to get them growing. One of the other jobs that I've been doing as well on the allotment at the moment is I'm trying to plant lots and lots of flowers, as I want a lot of colour on the allotment this year, because obviously growing stuff, a lot of it is actually just green, so you don't get a great deal of colour on the allotment, and you need colour on the plot to attract the bees, which will help pollinate your courgette plants and stuff like that. Anything that need the bees help, you can help attract them to the plot. So one of the main flowers that I usually grow every single year is calendula, and they have like a nice orange and yellow head, and I think you can actually use them in salads. I've never tried them to eat. I've just used them for flowers myself. So I'm hoping that they do produce a lot of flowers again this year, and I'm trying to plant them all around my borders, around my beds, anything that can make more colour for the plot. And I've also got a lot of cornflowers to plant as well this year, as cornflowers I can usually grow quite well as well, so I've planted quite a few of those, and I'm still plodding away through planting my 1,800 sunflowers. I don't think they'll all actually grow, to be honest, because no doubt the slugs will probably eat most of them and decimate most of them. But even if we get at least 20 growing on the plot, I'll be happy with that, and hopefully we'll get a nice display of the sunflowers again this year, because we certainly got some fantastic looking ones last year. And this bag what I've bought of seeds this year is a mixed variety of bag, so I don't actually know what the varieties will be until they actually grow to a decent size and produce the flower heads. And I'm hoping I get some black sunflowers again, because I had some last year and they looked absolutely beautiful. Sunflowers aren't just orange and golden, you can get all different colours now. You can get red ones, you can get black ones and stuff like that, so hopefully we can get some fantastic pictures to share with you all. So that it's going to be a busy job this year, and planting out isn't a fast job whatsoever. It can take forever just to do one bed, because obviously I've got to dig it over again, get all the weeds out, get any roots out that's in there, any glass, any stones, stuff like that. It needs to be like really properly dug over before I plant anything out, because obviously the weeds will throttle any plants or take all the nutrients from the soil. So the more we can do to make it weed free for as long as possible, the better really. So we've got all that to do, and out of my about 21 beds I've only got about 3 full so far, so we've still got lots and lots of stuff to get in, and so much stuff to get in. If you've seen my greenhouse and my polytunnel, you will know how many plants I've got to plant, and I'll be happy if we have a great crop this year, because obviously prices are rocketing, cost of living's rocketing and stuff like that. So the more stuff that I can produce and eat rather than have to buy, I'll be happy with that. If I can get free meals for the rest of the year, perfect. And we'll see how we get on, and I'm hoping that we do get a good harvest this year and we do get some good crops, because I've certainly put a lot of effort into it all, and I'm hoping that we do get something out of it. For the amount of time that I've spent down there, like I can spend up to 8 hours a day down at the allotment on my days off, and the amount of time that I put into it and the effort, I'm hoping that it does pay off and we do get some fantastic crops. Yes, I may not have enhanced the soil a lot this year by adding manure and stuff like that, so I might not get a fantastic crop, but hopefully we'll get at least something growing and get some produce from it. Next year I might possibly see if I can get a trailer load of manure down and hopefully replenish all the beds for next year, as they certainly need it. It's something that I've not really spent time and money on doing, which is something that does need doing, because without the nutrients you won't get your great crops. So we'll have to have a look around and see if we can get someone to dump a trailer load of it off for us. The only thing is you've got to move it all, and you can't get a wheelbarrow on my plot, so it'd have to be buckets or shovels and stuff like that. It'd take forever to move it all. So we'll see how we get on, but hopefully I'll be down for the rest of the week and I'll keep sharing my progress with you all, and I hope that you do enjoy these podcasts. And if you are a new person to this podcast, make sure you do click that subscribe button, make sure you click that follow button, leave a comment on it or send me a message about the podcast, because it's always great to hear from listeners that do listen to these podcasts. So until next time, remember, keep smiling, keep gardening, and keep listening to Gardening with Ben's podcasts. Thank you for listening to today's Gardening with Ben's podcast. I hope that you've enjoyed it. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, please do click that subscribe button, and feel free to share it as well on your Instagram stories. All you have to do if you're listening on Spotify is click the share button, and you can share it straight to your Instagram story for all your followers to listen to and help build my listeners up as well. and get more people listening to it. Feel free to check out all my social medias: Facebook, Instagram, YouTube and TikTok. Yes, I'm on TikTok. Go check it out. Check out my dancing. Gardening with Ben. And check out the link as well in the description of this podcast, where you can check out my gardening t-shirt shop, where I sell funny t-shirts with all different funny logos and designs on. And feel free to support me by purchasing one, and all the money obviously goes back into my allotment, where I can share more gardening tips with you all. So until next time, remember, keep smiling, keep gardening, and keep listening to Gardening with Ben's podcast.